And yeah, just always remember, if you're doing anything, don't get caught up on the what or the when. Just always remember the why. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to a new video. Today I had some on my mind I want to talk about a little bit. The thing I want to talk about is time. You know, a lot of us in my generation, a lot of us have we have a notion that, oh shit, if you ain't made it by such and such age, or you don't have such and such by a certain time point in your life, you feel like you're a failure. You feel like things ain't really go how you thought that they would. And I'm guilty of this too. I'm guilty of this too, man. It's no stranger to me that I've set time and guidelines for myself. And the saddest thing really is when you do all of this is you rob yourself of the experience of being aware of the moment in the present, you know? You rob yourself of being able to like zoom out a little bit and then look at how much you've accomplished. You know, I woke up this morning, I had a burning sensation, not burning sensation, sounds like I got STD, but but I had this like, it's not an anxiety attack, but you know, it's one of them times when you get too deep in your thoughts and you start thinking like, oh shit, I'm a certain age, I'm 24. I started thinking, oh, by 24 I should have accomplished this and that. But it's really me comparing myself to things I've seen online or people I've seen online. And that's the thing with when people post things like that, you can never tell if it's real or not, because social media, 90% of it, social media is not a real place, you know? So a lot of us have this, I don't know when this happened, but time became it moved from being our friend to damn near our enemy in my generation. It's because people accomplish things at a younger age and you see it, and then you start comparing yourself to them, which ideally isn't the actual way. You know, I did a little research on it, and actually the average man, just in general, the average man is like, when you get into your comfort, when you get to when you have made it, it's actually in your 40s. It's actually in your 40s. Can you think about that? And here I am, like a good 15 years away from, that's still a lot, from 40. And here I am stressing myself that I should have accomplished by now what I'm supposed to accomplish by then. Today, it just got me thinking in a different perspective. You know, I'm starting to appreciate myself and start looking at myself from the outside view. And time, I'm trying to have time not as my enemy anymore. You know, I want to acknowledge it, embrace it, and actually look forward to the future and whatever it might bring for me. If anyone out there who has this type of issue, what helped me today morning when you start getting that anxiety, that little feeling, my personal way of dealing with it was just looking back from the time I graduated high school with just an idea of knowing that I'm gonna do something, but I don't know what exactly, but I'm gonna do something, you know? And now that is 5 years since I left high school. I'm a producer in Stockholm. I have a pretty decent job. I have my gigs, you know, like life is actually better. It's actually better than I might have imagined, but it's because I compare myself to this, social media, because I compare myself to this outside presence, which are not even me. And personally, I don't even know their story, you know? You don't know their story. You could be there complaining, thinking that you have to do such and such in a certain time frame, but maybe it was given to them. Maybe as soon as they graduated high school, as soon as they were out, their father, their mother, their uncle, just somebody had, hey, this is what you're supposed to do, I'm gonna give it to you, and boom. And you're trying to compare yourself to that. Come on, man. We have to be more fair to ourselves. We have to give ourselves more grace, more time, more understanding, just more understanding, because this is what I'm coming to learn the more I'm in the adult life. Because no one, if I'm not a friend to me first, if I'm not constantly just reassuring myself how good I'm doing, this world wouldn't do it for me. This world wouldn't do it for me, and it can be a very, very cruel world. So imagine leaving your house in the morning, go outside, get beat up by the world, and then come home and beat yourself up even more in your head. We are actually just torturing ourselves for no reason. Yeah, we have to get better with that. We just have to improve. I'm telling y'all, and I'm telling myself this. I have to improve. I have to let time do its thing. Compound interest. Compound interest is basically when you do something over a certain amount of time and it just keeps getting better and better. So I'm not even allowing compound interest, which is probably one of the strongest things we have on earth, to even work towards my favor, towards my advantage. I've been producing for the last 2 years, like seriously producing. And after 1 year, things got, that first little 7 months was tough. When you're just trying to get your skills right, you're trying to get everything right, and nothing is coming. And then out of nowhere, things just suddenly start picking up. That's compound interest working, because you don't stop and you keep going. You get rewarded with this. For me, I believe I call it God. Some people might call it the universe, but still there's like an acceptance out there in the world that you don't do. And if you do something and you're persistent at it, the world and God or universe has a funny way of just rewarding you in it. And the crazy thing, it'll happen when you least expect it. You could be, I'm sure y'all have experienced this. Have you never like been dead set, oh yeah, this is gonna happen? Like you go for a job interview. You leave that job interview, you're feeling like, man, this is it. I got this job, and then boom, nothing happens. In Christianity, there's a saying, when we plan, God laughs. And so just to tie all that together, there's this feeling of we're not allowing time to do its thing, So we just have to get better with that and have a deeper and better understanding of the fact that if we work and allow ourselves to grow and allow time to do its thing, not to have time as an enemy, we will eventually reach what we're aiming for. I am a firm believer in that, I sleep on that with that acknowledgement. The time is our friend. A strong reason of why, this is just like a bonus, but I try to think about this. When you notice that time, you are fighting time a little bit, like, oh, you're like a little bit, when is it gonna happen for me? Is it gonna happen today, tomorrow? I need it today. And that's one of the hardest things to do the same things every day with no tangible result, nothing that you can point and see, and for you just to keep going over and over. It's actually one of the hardest points you can be at, but there's so much beauty in this little spot where it's still in the beginning, you're still finding out, you're still figuring out yourself, and eventually when things do start to pick up, it's so beautiful because you will reach where you want to be. I'm noticing it now with my skills in producing, where I can think of an idea and I can execute it like that. But this, I didn't wake up like this. This is, as I told you, this is a 2 year like slow progression. This is a 2 year slow progression. And who's to say where I'll be in 10 years? So we have to stop having this stress about time, and just, especially for our generation. However you're gonna combat that, if it's gonna be less social media, if it's gonna be less interactions with certain people, or it's gonna be you fortifying your mind, but we have to find a way to get better at this. And yeah, just always remember, if you're doing anything, don't get caught up on the what or the when. Just always remember the why.